Hi everyone, welcome to my video on structs. I'm excited to talk to you about structures and what I've been learning this week. So structures or structs are similar to functions in that they represent objects in code form. They basically create like a plan, and then we use that plan to create individual instances of it. Um, they use the keyword struct, and you can give it a name and some properties. So to create a struct, you start with the struct keyword and then the name, and you can put variables inside, and you can start with just the name of the variable and what type it is, so int, string, whatever. But you can also create within a struct default values. So you can change, so we have var sound, you can say squawk, or you can just set it as string. And then to create an instance of a struct, you just create, the variable name and then call it by saying bird and then followed by parentheses. And then to print the variables, you just say print crow.sound in this circumstance, just the dot variable name, the name of the instance that you created, followed by a dot and then the name of the variable. You can also change the values. So here we say crow.sound and we change it to caw instead, and then just printing that. So structs can also have inits or initializers, which basically help to create an instance of that struct, and they can take parameters. If those parameters are the same as those that are outside the init, then you use the self keyword to help distinguish between the two. So self dot would refer to the property that is outside of the init versus the parameter inside the init. So to create the init, you just do init and then your parameters that are going in, and then self dot parameter name equals the name. Inside structs, you can also create additional functions. They're called methods if they're inside a struct. They would use the func keyword, just like any other functions. And here we have an example, func flying, and then our parentheses to indicate our function, and then the body of the function. And then to call that function, once you create an instance, you would just do, as we have here, we have seagull as our instance, we do seagull.flying, and that would call that function. So we use the mutating keyword to allow properties to change inside of a method. Swift doesn't just allow you to do that. It wants to specifically make sure you do want to actually change the property. So it requires you to put a mutating keyword in front of a function. So we created a new variable, var age int, add that to our init, and now we created a new function. So we have our mutating function of age, returns our int, and then we're adding +1 every time we call it, and we're returning our age. So now when we create our instance, we created seagull and we added the age of 5. We go seagull.age, that'll call our function one time. Then when we print seagull.age, we will actually get 6 now. So that mutating keyword is really the key if you want to be able to change and alter your parameters. Swift is very careful about this. So every time that we create an instance of a struct or copy an instance of a struct, that new struct or that new instance has its own set of values. They don't overlap. So we have the seagull, which has mu, white, and age of 5. We create a crow, which has caw, black, and age is 3. And those are two separate things. If I change one, it doesn't change the other at all. So that is it for structures today. There will be a second follow-up video to structs. I just decided to divide it up in two because there's a lot here. There will be some practice problems on this information about structs coming after this video. I hope that this helped, and I wish you luck as you learn Swift.